Have you ever been so terrified of someone you love that you couldn't even stay in the same house as them? Imagine waking up every day wondering if they're watching you, waiting for you. That's what happened to me. And now, I'm not even sure I'll make it out of this alive. This isn't some made-up ghost story. It's real. It happened to me. And it all started with one simple moment when my wife began peeking at me. Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone you love, only to see a stranger staring back at you? I have, and I can't unsee it. What I saw, what I felt, it has burrowed into me, taken root, and it won't let go. My name is Ben. My wife, Lynn, and I have been together for 6 years, married for almost a year. She was my rock, my partner, my everything. But a few months ago, something happened. Something that made me question everything I thought I knew about her. It all started with the simplest of moments. One morning I was rushing to get out the door, already late for work, juggling coffee and my keys. I turned the corner and there she was, peeking at me. Just her eyes, and a strand of her long dark hair. At first, I thought she was being playful, maybe trying to joke around for once. But there was something about the way she moved, the way she stared, that sent a chill down my spine. When I said her name, she didn't laugh or explain. She just disappeared, like a child caught in the act. I tried to laugh it off. Lynn wasn't the type to play games like that. She hated pranks, hated anything remotely creepy. But maybe, I thought, she was just trying to lighten up for once. I brushed it off. But now, I wish I hadn't. 3 nights later, it happened again. It was 2 a.m. I had woken up thirsty and wandered into the kitchen for a drink. I was standing there, lost in thought, when that feeling washed over me. You know the one. The unmistakable sensation of being watched. It gripped me so tightly I couldn't move. I looked down, and there she was, crouched on the floor, staring up at me. Her eyes were wide, too wide, like she was trying to see through me. And that grin, it stretched across her face like it didn't belong there. It wasn't playful. It wasn't human. She didn't say a word. She didn't even blink. She just scuttled away, on all fours, the sound of her hands and feet hitting the tiles. I'll never forget it. I couldn't move. I stood there paralyzed, my heart hammering in my chest, wondering what the hell was happening to my wife. The next morning, she acted like nothing was wrong. She smiled, kissed me on the cheek, asked me how I slept. I tried to bring it up, what she had done, what I had seen, but she just laughed. She told me I was being creepy, but her laugh, it wasn't right. It was too loud, too sharp, like she was forcing it. And then things got worse, much worse. I started seeing her everywhere, peeking at me from behind the curtains, from the couch. Once, I even found her inside the old trunk at the foot of our bed. She had the lid propped open just enough for her face to show. When I asked her why she was doing it, she just closed the lid, slowly, without saying a word. I asked her about it later, begged her to explain, but all she said was, "Maybe I've just gotten better at it." And then she smiled, that same awful smile. A few days later, I was in the shower, trying to clear my head, trying to convince myself that I was imagining things. But then, I felt it again, that prickling sensation, that heavy feeling of being watched. I turned around, and there she was. Her face was inches from mine, her hair was soaked, clinging to her face, her makeup was running, black streaks dripping down her cheeks, and that grin, it was bigger than ever, like her face couldn't contain it. She didn't say a word. She just stared. I screamed. I stumbled back, hitting the wall, my heart racing so fast I thought it might stop. She didn't move. She didn't flinch. She just kept staring, her mouth open, as if she was waiting for something. And then, she was gone. The curtain snapped shut, and I heard the bathroom door slam. That was when I knew. This wasn't a game. This wasn't a prank. Something was wrong, deeply, horribly wrong. The breaking point came when I opened our closet. Inside, I found them. Dozens of tiny, glassy eyes, some as small as marbles, others larger, all laid out in neat little rows. I felt sick. My stomach churned, my vision blurred. I couldn't stay there. I couldn't stay with her. I called my brother Chris, begged him to come with me to the house. I needed someone to see what I was seeing, someone to tell me I wasn't losing my mind. When we searched the house, it reeked of rot. We checked every room, every corner, but she was gone, or so we thought. And then we found her. She was under the bed, curled up, grinning, her hands trembling like she couldn't contain her excitement. Her eyes locked onto Chris, and for the first time, I saw something else in them. Hunger. Pure, unrelenting hunger. She lunged at him. I barely had time to react. We ran, tripping over ourselves, slamming doors behind us. Her laughter followed us, sharp and shrill, echoing through the halls. I don't know how we made it out, but when I slammed that front door, I knew this wasn't over. The police searched the house, but she was gone. They told me to stay somewhere safe, but I knew it wouldn't matter. 40 minutes ago, I got a text. 3 words. I found you. And the picture attached? It was her eye. Just her eye. Staring back at me. Now I'm here. Alone. Terrified. And she's coming for me.